Andy Ruiz cannot find a fight in the heavyweight division, and he says here, nobody wants to fight. I'm staying ready. Tell Joshua, let's do the trilogy. Tell Wilder, I'm ready. Fury, Usyk, I'm ready. So, Andy Ruiz was supposed to fight Deontay Wilder. They were working on it, but Deontay Wilder and his team says that Andy Ruiz priced himself out. He asked for too much money, $25 million to be exact. So my question to you, the viewer, is how much is Andy Ruiz worth? How much do you give a former heavyweight champion? He has one of the most iconic moments in boxing, big time upset, right? I'm not saying it's up there top 3, top 5, or even top 10, but it's a big moment in boxing. He knocked out Anthony Joshua and shocked the world at the time. Let's call a spade and give the man his credit. He did knock him out in Madison Square Garden. Big time moment. Did he defend the titles? No, he didn't. He lost them right back to Anthony Joshua in the rematch. He came in way out of shape and just looked sloppy. And this is for a guy who carries himself at a heavier weight to begin with. And that's saying something. So he didn't defend the titles, but he did win the titles. And in winning the titles, he did become the first ever Mexican descendant heavyweight champion. No other heavyweight champion has ever had Mexican blood in him. Now, is he born and raised in Mexico like people like to bring up? No, he's not. But is he a descendant of Mexican heritage and things like that? Yeah, he is. He is a Mexican man. He represents his culture proudly, and you got to give it to him. He has. So you could argue he has a country behind him, right? He definitely has the Mexican audience here in the United States, which is a big time audience that you'll have in the boxing world. If you can have the Mexicans watching you, it's all the better for you. And he would be going up against someone like Deontay Wilder. In that fight, just for example, you would have the Mexican audience and the black audience. That's always going to be a great, culmination and combination and just a spectacular event all the time. You see it all the time in boxing. And you would have that with there. So, does he have Mexico behind him as well? I believe he would. I think he would have the Mexico or Mexicans from Mexico audience, as well as the Mexicans from the United States audience as well tuning in. Let me know in the comments if you are a Mexican from Mexico. Let me know if you support Andy Ruiz, and if not, tell me why not. I mean, I don't understand why you wouldn't. So with all of that said, why wouldn't Andy Ruiz be worth it? $25 million is a lot of money. I don't know where he came up with that figure from. I don't know, if he just pulled that from out of nowhere, But I think $15 million would be appropriate for Andy Ruiz. I mean, you got to think, this is going to be a huge fight, right? Andy Ruiz versus Deontay Wilder would be must-see television for anybody. And I even do think it would bring in some of the casual audience as well. Deontay Wilder's done a good job getting his name out there in the Tyson Fury fights, albeit, came out the loser in most of those contests. But it is what it is. He got his name out there, and Andy Ruiz has his name. And both of these guys could make a great fight. Now, I'll actually say I think that fight does better than Ruiz versus Usyk, even though Usyk is the champion. Just because Wilder is a bigger star, so to speak. And yeah, I will say that. I will say that Wilder is a bigger star than Usyk, even though Usyk has the belts. It just is what it is. So, with all of that said, I want to see Andy Ruiz fight these guys. I want to see the best fighting the best, and I want to see parity. I want to see Usyk versus Fury, Usyk versus Wilder, Ruiz versus Fury, Ruiz versus Wilder. I want to see all the fights get made. I want to see everybody fighting each other. That's what I want to see. I don't really necessarily care to see the trilogy between Andy Ruiz and Anthony Joshua. Not now. We could have that later down the line, but that's my take on this. I think Andy Ruiz is a bona fide heavyweight boxing star. I think you put him in with any of those guys, and it's going to be a fun fight. You put him in with any of those guys, and it's going to be must-see TV. And why wouldn't you tune in if you're a boxing fan, So that's my take on it. I do think Andy Ruiz should get one of these fights, and I want to see him get these fights. Let me know what you think in the comments. If you agree with me, disagree with me, it does not matter. Just join the discussion. Thank you.